Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 136 of the Yarnivore podcast. I am Sadie, the Yarnivore, Blue Ruin, We Shoot Stars, Sadie Ruin on Twitter and Instagram, and bracket. This is an episode in December, so let's just be glad that I still have my mind. My mind is kind of gone. I have hit the point of malaise within my knitting from knitting one too many of the same thing. It is not awesome. Guess we can just jump right on in. I am wearing a finished object. Do you like it? Do you like it? Trying to make sure I can see myself here. It is the Maine Mayne Island hat by Caitlin French. I used handspun. It's nice and floppy at the back. It's very warm and comfy. And I think I'm going to dye my hair later today, so I really didn't want to do anything with it. So you get me in hat. And this is also why I don't wear hats. I look horrible in hats. Look at me. You are looking at me. But, and everyone's going to say I don't look horrible. Whatever. I am warm. And that is the only thing I care about. It is actually not as cold as I am used to. I hear it's cold. And then I talked to my mother on the phone and she says it's minus 54 with wind chill. In Regina, which is like minus 70 something Fahrenheit. So yeah, that's what I'm used to. This minus like 30 Celsius, that's normal to me. I am used to it. So it's kind of funny for me when I hear how cold it is. And there's wind chill advisories like every 3 seconds. My phone bangs and tells me there's a snow advisory, winter weather advisory, a wind chill advisory. This does not happen where I am from. Minus 54 and they'll start saying, dude, it's cold. Stay in. Like, think about this. People's cars aren't starting. You know, everyone's at work late. It's kind of starting to become a gong show at that point. We got 4 to 5 inches of snow and like, it was like snowmageddon here. Like, that is not even a, that's a dusting. This is not a 4-foot drift here. The snow is not as tall as me yet, therefore it is not bad. But that, yeah. Don't you just love hearing about my culture shock? I'm still having it. I've been here for over half a year now, and I am still culture shocked by America. You live, you learn. Although I do know that out in BC they would probably be all up and aghast if they had this weather. But in the prairie provinces, well, actually no, Alberta gets Chinooks and whatnot. They don't get that cold, so when they get slammed, they kind of go, ah! But seriously, Saskatchewan people were built like little brick shithouses. We're used to it. Yeah. Saskatchewan and Manitoba, they tend to take the brunt of cold, and it's probably because there's no trees or divots. There's no hills. There is a hill, and I'm pretty sure most people would just consider it a bump. Yeah, no. There's a valley. Ooh, you go into the valley. Or up the hill at Lumsden. And now I'm just rambling, so let's get back into it. This is an FO. I have a lot of FOs because Christmas knitting had me in its clutches. That was one thing. The other thing was I have a sinus infection. It's cleared up. But seriously, there was a point where I was like, I couldn't open my eyes. I looked like this, and there was pressure. My head felt out to here. I have antibiotics, which are doing a number on my stomach as we speak, but I'm on the mend. However, when you're sick and all you can do is sit there and contemplate your sickness, you're going to read a lot and you're going to watch a lot of crappy television and you're going to knit like nobody's business. That and I say it every year, I'm not going to knit for anybody, and then I always end up doing it. I just should stop saying it because I'm eventually going to end up knitting for people. So, the FO parade. Aside from that which is on my head, I did 2 more sets of washcloths in the gorgeous American stripes colorway, and I have no idea what stripe colorway this is, but yeah, there you have it. So I have 1 more ball of peaches and lily cream. Just sounds dirty. I have 1 more ball of that, so I'm going to get 2 more, and then I have a big one of those honkin' balls, and I'm going to whip out a bunch of tawashis, which is basically a scrubby. It's a Japanese scrubby. It's cuter than a normal scrubby because it's Japanese. But I am going to knit a bunch of those to go with these. And then a set will go to my brother, a set will go to my other brother, a set will go to my mom, and probably a set will go to my aunt. Because I'm awesome like that. Hi guys. Yes, Beetle, it's cold. Beetle is cold, so she's like, oh. That's her natural state of being when it's cold. Her asthma acts up. I have an asthmatic cat, I know. I started and finished this in an hour. It is not blocked. The end is not woven in. I will have an end weaving in / blocking party in probably today as I wait for my dye to arrive. If you're a Loopy You person, then you've seen this before. You probably have a little kit. It is the little bookmark kit that they send to you when you reach the Cotton Club. I made it for my aunt because she reads a lot of bodice rippers when she's at work. She's a nurse and she does the night shift. So she tends to read a lot while she's there, and she does the bodice ripper thing. Generally it involves some sort of man in a kilt. Her and my mother. I don't get it. Whatever works. If that gets them reading, I'm down with it. But I figured a nice bookmark would just be a good addition, so I whipped it up. It took an hour. It is out of the Loopy solids that they send to you. I don't believe this had a colorway on it. I knit it on a 2.5 millimeter circular because I didn't feel like finding the straights, and I had a 2.5 sitting there anyway. So weaving in the end and blocking it. My aunt is a knitter, so if she wants it starched, she can, but I like the more floppy ones. So if she wants it to starch it, she is more than welcome to, but I am not starching it. She's not. Now, what, you guys traded? Now I got Bebop at my foot here. You have seen the first mallard? You saw the first mallard. This is the second mallard. These are going to my nieces, the pair. There's a pair of nieces, and then there's niece and a nephew. This is going to the other niece, and I did it a little differently. On the first mallard, I had it so that both the pointy down tips were on the same side. On this one, I didn't care. This is the small. It is knit out of Debbie Bliss Luxury Donegal Tweed, which is a wool Angora blend, so there's no mohair. It is super soft. I kind of want to rub my face in it, but I'm giving it to a little kid and I have a sinus infection, so let's not do that. It looks very warm. Kind of looks like a little bib when I put it on. It does fit over my head, so I know it'll fit over their heads. For some reason, the little one has a really big head. Not like she's like self-inflated or anything. She just, her head is very round. That is going to live in infamy. I know it. That's going to be one of the catchphrases. Her head is very round. It took me an evening. It's knit on. It's knit as a bulky, I believe, or an Aran. I don't know. At the point I was at, I was like, it's for children, and I am knitting it, and this will work. Shush you. I'm sorry if you hear cats in the background. It's Beetle being demanding. So, that is done, which means I was 2 cowls down. And that is the Mallard by Katia Frankel. I knitted on US 5.5, which is what the yarn called for. And, yeah. So then after that, I figured I had 2 left to do. I had the niece and the nephew. Yeah, you can tell why I'm burnt out on cowl. There will probably not be another cowl knit for a good long while. Well, I do appreciate them for their simplicity and ease. I'm done. I'm burnt out, and I tend not to wear cowls. That's the other thing. I know I've designed a cowl, but I tend not to wear them because I don't like the feeling of choking, and quite frankly, I've got a giant tattoo. I show it off, even if it's minus 30, I still want it to be showing. I might wear a scarf or a shawl that I can, like, cover up, and then be like, wha-bam. Let's face it, you don't take the time to have 8 hours of work done on your chest not to show it off. So then I had the oldest niece and the nephew to do, so I pulled out some of this. This is Bamboo U by Stitch Nation. It's discontinued. I probably got it when it was discontinued and on sale at Michael's in Regina, because I've had it in the stash for a while. I had 2 balls. Now I have like a third or 2/3 of a ball. So I used at least 1 ball on I did 2 of these. Yes. Yes, they hear you. You cry so plaintively. It's her new thing. She's realized when I start talking or when I'm like doing specific things that I will pay attention to her if she's annoying. She's like 14 or 15, and she figured that out just now. Not the smartest kid. She's not as dumb as Frank. So this is the Harbottle pattern, also by Katia Frankel. This came from the Head to Toe ebook, which I reviewed. It was super quick, but so this is the first one I knit, and this is the medium. It fits over my head, and I need to weave in the ends. I figured I'd show them on the podcast, weave the ends in, and then wrap them up. This is for the oldest niece I have. The one thing I noticed when I was doing this on US 4.5 millimeter needles, or US 7s, which is a 4.5 millimeter needle, as I was doing this, I realized that in the pattern, and basically it's a very simple pattern, but see this pattern here? The chart, and I've sent an email to her, and she has responded, and it is in the errata now, but just so you know, there is a left cross that is not in the chart. Like, it's in the chart that you're supposed to knit from, and it's only charted, but it's in the chart, but it's not in the key. It doesn't tell you in the key, so do check the errata on that. If you've knit a lot, you'll understand it's not a big jump or like mental leap to ascertain that that's what's going to happen. So I finished this out of the Bamboo U, and as I had 2 balls, and because if you know small children, if you've been around small children, they have to get the same thing, or a thing of equal value, generally, because my nieces and nephews will all compare amongst themselves, like Emmy and Zibby to Josie and Rhodes. They like, one Easter, we got Emmy and Zibby a bunny and a lamb. We gave the bunny to Zibby and the lamb to Emmy. I'll be damned if Zibby didn't want that damn lamb. My brother was driving around to every real Canadian superstore trying to find another lamb, because the world was going to end if another lamb was not procured. And it wasn't so much that Emmy wanted the lamb. She was relatively indifferent to the stuffed toy. But just because her sister wanted it, she had to keep it. So, to not have my brother lose his mind, and to try and keep everything even Stevens, you'll notice that they both get the same pattern, no matter what. And in this one, I used the same yarn. This is for Rhodes, who is my nephew. And this is the size small, so I went down a size. So it is very visibly different. I can put it on. I've put these all on, so I know they fit over my head. And if they fit over my head and they fit on my neck comfortably, then I know that they will fit on the little children. And so yeah. I finished my first ball about halfway through this, and I started the second ball, so I do have about 2/3 of a ball. I could bang out another one of these, but will I? No. Why? I have knit too many cowls. No more cowls. Even if the husband, was crying for a cowl, I don't know why he'd be crying for a cowl, but if he wanted one, it would be like, no dear, no dice. Just can't do it. I'm done. Burnt out. However, that does mean I have all 4 nieces and nephews' cowls done. And once this show is done recording, I'm going to, while it's uploading and stuff, I will weave in the ends, and then I can wrap them all tonight. I had a little bit of a wrapping party last night and got more stuff wrapped up. I think I have I have to finish buying stuff for Mum. I'll have to buy one more thing for Mum. And I have to get these stocking stuffers for the hubby. And then I'm done. I'm so close. So close. I can taste the finish line. I can taste it. Works in progress. Very tangential today. There's no hope for me. I have reached that point in the Christmas madness that it's just overwhelming me. And of course my mind is going 80 miles a minute anyway, thinking of colorways and thinking of what I'm going to do in the new year. There is a thread on the Knitter's Nightmare Ravelry board asking you what you want to see in the new year. Just what you want to see, but in the new year is implied. Do you want to see DK weight striping? Do you want to see worsted weight striping? Do you want me to do worsted weight semi-solids? Are you a fan of lace? Do I need to do more variegates? Should I be doing variegates on worsted and DK? Tell me these things. I'm not a mind reader. I do stripes primarily, but I am going to branch out into everything I can, within reason, because let's face it, I am one human being. But if there's something you really want to see, tell me. Works in progress. You haven't seen this in a while. And I'm almost reticent to bring it out. This is the calligraphy cardigan by Hannah Fettig. I swear, I hit the sleeves, I just powered down, I was like, we're done for the day. And then I never looked at it again. Like that, and I didn't want to finish it in November because then I might accidentally be part of the Nanisui Momo. I didn't want to accidentally be part of it because I wasn't actually trying. How sad is that? I know, I'm weird, I'm demented. That and I have Christmas presents. Had Christmas presents. Have had. Tense. I'm just going to pull it out to the point that you can see that there has been approximately 1.5 inches to 2 inches of sleeve progress. That's what I've done. That is exactly what has been done on here. I am into the decreases on the first sleeve. Woo. But it will be good mindless crap knitting. Seriously, who nested on this? Did I just rub it on myself and I was nested upon? Someone nested on my knitting. I hate it when they do that. I hate it when they do that. That's why they're in bags. But I would like to, I have to have this, well no, I don't have to. I would like to have this finished by the new year because I know that the Super Summer Knit Together, which this was one at and has the stampy stamp thing on it. TC 2013. The first of their knit-alongs is Amy Herzog, whose sweaters I love, and I have one that I need to finish anyway. Amy Herzog is the first knit-along, and it starts January 1st, and it ends at the end of February. So if I knit a sweater in that time frame, I can get me some more tickets. I'm not gonna lie, that's basically my motivation. Knit a sweater, get a schwackle of tickets. And as I am a vendor, I could knit it out of my own yarn, and I could get 2 more tickets. But all I have left is red DK, and while I love the red DK, I feel bad for taking it out of the shop, so it's probably going to stay in the shop. So if you're in the SSK thing and you need some DK, there is probably a sweater's worth for a smaller person, not a 44-inch bust here. Well, maybe if you did short sleeves, but there is a sweater's worth still there. Anywho, I ramble and I go all over the place, but that was the calligraphy cardigan. It seemed like 2 inches of work. And honestly, the stuff that are in works in progress are like the last day, because I felt bad for not having enough to show. I do have another dishcloth on the needles. It's halfway done. It's a halfway done dishcloth because I just sat there and did it, but I didn't bring it to show you. You'll see 2 finished dishcloths next week. You will. I can foresee this. I'm foreseeing the future here. And my mother should probably go away at this point. I love you, Mom, but you need to go away right now. I will give you a minute. I will give you a full minute. She's not watching them in real time anyway. Like, I don't think she's seen the latest one. She watches them, but she's been traveling so much lately that it's insane. Last week she was in Saskatoon. This week she's in Edmonton. The week before that there was Ottawa, or was it Saskatoon and Ottawa in the same week? Either way, she's traveling like crazy, and she's coming to visit on Boxing Day and staying till the New Year, so I'm excited. But as is my tradition, I usually knit her stuff at Christmas. I haven't knit any socks for her, although she got a pair recently, so I feel almost as though I don't need to. And it's in my Amy Beth Frida Kahlo bag, my Frida bag, which I love. Background on this. I knit my mother the Alhambra shawl, scarf, stole, whatever, hiccup, by Ann Hansen out of Neptune Light from Volmice about 3 years ago, and she gave it away. I have no problem with the fact that she gave it away because I know who she gave it to and why she gave it to them, so it was completely acceptable in and of itself, but she really liked it. She did not want to give it away. It wasn't something she was like, I am going to give this away. She was like, I reticently give this away. And ever since she's like, and then she figured I could make her another one because she's ever so thoughtful like that. And I informed her that it's not that easy to go about plucking Volmice out of thin air. However, I did snag a Volmice Loopy U update, and when I did, I scored some Neptune Medium in the per 100% Vol, which is a superwash merino. So the medium is a little darker than the light, but it'll work. And I figured for Christmas, she always gets a shawl. This year I am making a scarf. It is the Onerva scarf by Miriam Malecki. It looks like this. It's just a very simple shawl, scarf shawl, stole thing. 3 charts is a free pattern. It's based off of a triangle shawl, so it is a scarf. It's called a scarf, but it looks really big. I'm not sure if that's like just a really tiny lady, or if that is really just very big. But, and there's another picture. Yeah, I double-side these things. Deal with it. This is me being earth conscious. There's another one. Basically, and it's all charted. There is no written pattern. I would call it intermediate because there is no written format. You basically have to know the construction of a shawl. The wrong side rows aren't in the charts. They're not charted. They're mentioned briefly. Like, the instructions are 2 lines long for the entirety of the shawl. And I'll just show you this. It doesn't bug me, but it may bug someone, so I feel like I should point it out. If you look at the key here, you've got knit, But because the wrong sides aren't done, it doesn't say purl on the wrong side row, even though you do purl on the wrong side row. You've got garter stitch, knit 2 together, yarn over. These are normal, but this M here, which usually stands for make one, actually stands for a SSYO or SP whatever. Slip 1, knit 2 together, pass slip stitch over. SLK2 PSSO. Whatever. Either way, that's what I'm making for her. Here is the Neptune. It's coming up a lot greener than it is. It's a very rich, vibrant. There you go. That. I am using 3.5mm needles. I am using carbons because that's what I had. It calls for 3.75, but really I'm knitting it at a 3.5 and I'm finding that that's pretty loose. So Vomice is really thin for a yarn. If I was using something more akin to like my Batty base, then I would be inclined to the 3.5 to 3.75. The 3.5 is about as big as I'm willing to go on this. So I have started. That's the start. That's all I've got. I know. How sad am I? But as you can see, it's a very pretty lace pattern. I'm not into the point where I get like the diagonal fun yet, but this is about halfway through chart 1. You do chart 1, you repeat chart 2 12 times, then you do chart 3. So I have until Boxing Day to get this done and blocked, and there should be more than enough time. All the other Christmas knitting is done except for the washcloth. And if I'm gonna bang out a pair of stripy socks, I started the Necromorph stripy socks for the hubby, and I think he's forgotten about them, which may bode well for me if I can manage to finish them in secret. But secret knitting and really hard when like I don't go out and we spend all of our spare time together. I have to do it when he's not at home, and when he's not at home I'm usually working. So bit iffy on that. I may try, but let's face it, a pair of stripy socks, a shawl by Christmas, a little crazy. May not do that. That, and I already have, I may finish it just because I want to get stuff off the needles for the end of the year. I have that whole thing. I'm not as bad as the Yarn Harlot where I have to have everything finished, but I do have that thing where I feel an inherent need to finish things on the needles if I can at the end of the year. It's just like cleaning that house. It's one of those weird things. You must. I don't like having things on the needles over the end of the year. But then you look at things like that, the cabled blanket I'm doing, which has been in type out for like a year. That thing's going to take at least another year. Just saying, like, I've had projects that have spanned years, but if they're going to span years, I know they're going to, whatever. Rambling. So, what do I have in miscellaneous? I would like to point out that there are still a handful of the Fuji kits left, and once they're gone, they're not coming back. Not to say that, like, I mean, well, what do I mean? What do I mean? They sell well, it's not a problem that way, it's just, they are a lot of work, and the new year there's going to be a lot of stuff going down, so this is probably going to be the last run of Fuji kits. I don't think we're going to do another run. I may do the colorway at some point further down the line if Fuji is still, because I know she's in chemo till February, so there may be another one at the end of February, but it's hard to say because I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff in the new year. And dyeing wise, so my time is limited. So if you want a Fuji kit, you should get it now, as there are just a handful left. There will be one more Knitter's Nightmare update before Christmas. One more. And that primarily has to do with the fact that I was waiting for yarn, I was waiting for dye. I was sick, so I wasn't even worried about it. There will be one more update. I believe that the 19th is the last day to ship within the US and get it to its location. by Christmas. So there you have it. I know January is usually a slowdown time, so I'm not too worried. I just another update before Christmas, just to have that there. The show next week will probably be a day late. Probably be on Tuesday instead of Monday, just because the in-laws are coming on Thursday night, and they're staying till Monday. And I don't know if I'm just going to want to veg on Monday or what. I'll be honest with you, I don't know when I'm going to record next week, if it's going to be Monday or Tuesday, but it will be Monday or Tuesday. They're coming for a visit for Christmas, so you have it. Aside from that, I don't really have any major plans. I want to finish my cardigan. I need to finish Mom's gift. I need to weave in some ends. There will be dyeing, warping, as always. That seems to be my life. It's like, what are you up to? I'm dyeing and warping. Dyeing and warping. And yeah. That's all I've got for you. I am Blue Ruin on Ravelry. We shoot stars on Plurk. Sadie Ruin on Twitter and Instagram. I'm on Twitter and Instagram most of all, and Ravelry. Although I really haven't been able to respond to messages thanks to the glorious thing that is pseudoephedrine. At least I have the Minnesota Learners Instructional Permit license thing now, so I can actually get Advil cold and sinus here. Although I still feel like there's something wrong with me. Like, I don't know, it just makes me feel like I'm trying to, like, I feel like a criminal when I buy it. And I'm not doing anything wrong with it. I'm getting it to take it to, like, ease the pressure, but I still, like, it's so criminal. I feel like a criminal. I am the guy from Breaking Bad. No, I'm not. So, that's everything I got this week. I will see y'all next week. I hope you have a great week. And if I repeat week one more time, I'm going to have to hit myself. So, bye!